Не говорила, потому что если ты дашь понять, что это плохо, она просто, может быть, там не найдет себе силы
Eteri
дальше.
Tutberidze broke the silence and gave her first big interview in a long time. To publicize her position, she chose an unusual interlocutor, ex-coach of the Russian football team and CSKA Leonid Slutsky. That Tutberidze did not interfere, so Eteri Georgievna spoke freely on many pressing topics. About Valieva's doping. I would like to put all the participants in the process in front of a lie detector, because I want to know where it came from, what it is and why. We do not have access to personal accounts. But we know for sure that if athletes are admitted to the Olympics, then they are clean. They receive an Olympian passport, which means they are all clean. How did it happen that an athlete with a frozen analysis got to the Olympics? At the European Championship she took the test, it was clear, then she took it again, it was clear. If they had that analysis hanging around, it means they had to do anything to get it ready. I believe that consideration of a team medal should not exist at all. Whose fault is it that an athlete with a frozen analysis participated in the team? At this start the athlete was clean. The medal must not be revised. If they had told us about the results earlier, then Anya Shcherbakova and Sasha Trusova would have skated. And the team's result would have been exactly the same. About Trusova. She had a fixed idea that if she put together her program, then she would win 100% at the Olympics. She believed that she should bring 20 points. Maybe somewhere an athlete does not report that somewhere there is a step out, somewhere the level has dropped. At the Olympics, Sasha shot her skates at me in the locker room. Well, that's how Sasha is. I don't agree with the cost of quadruples. At all. The quadlets should cost a lot more. And I don't agree with Sasha's second place in the Grand Prix final. I think that this should be first place. I generally think it's wrong to go a little towards a medal. You have to go to your best performance, you still won't jump over your head. Two athletes who went for a medal, and not for a rental, were Zhenya Medvedeva and Sasha Trusova. And that's why they had a mismatch. They don't understand a little that our life is decorated by the path to the goal, and not by the goal itself. About the students leaving for Plushenko and returning. Did I celebrate within myself the return of Trusova and Kosternaya? No. For me this is such revenge. The best Ishia can teach. Sasha came. She looked away, couldn't look at me directly and said, "I'm tired, I need a change of scenery." I ask, "So you're just tired of us?" In response I hear, "Well, yes. I already realized at the World Championships 2021 that she would return. You already understand that a person begins not to look away, but to look for it. She was already looking for this look. Moreover, though she did not behave very nicely in relation to her coach, Evgeny Plushenko. She ran from him, he ran after her, like he was with her. But she wasn't with him. She warmed herself up, prepared herself, went out on the ice herself, took her things from training and left. Everything was clear. At this moment she is already looking at you. I knew that they had an obvious conflict. It was red." About Medvedeva and Tarasova who intervened. For some reason, Tatyana Anatolievna suddenly decided to interfere in her preparation and advise her, and not me. Well, call me, come here, advise. No, from there the advice begins from the back, the influence and action on the athlete begins. She approached the Olympics not so sincerely with us. I spoke several times about a clean tail, and here it was. It wasn't that she was a stranger, she was a little bit no longer with us. The athlete is removed, taken away. You just try to work with what you have. Either the athlete doesn't want to weigh herself, or she's over 1.5 kilograms. How is this possible in one day? We still need to try. Is this done intentionally? We have 2 or 3 weeks left for the next stage of the Grand Prix, but here we are completely under-rotated, and hysteria begins in training. You try to do what is useful that you can do today. Let's say you have a free skate, and the athlete refuses to skate it. This is very strange behavior. You have been together for 13 years. And this has never happened. It was as if the person had been replaced. After the Olympics, I was accused of leaking the correspondence. But I didn't drain it. I was asked a question because Zhenya said that we didn't contact her. Didn't try to contact her. It was a lie. Because it read. And she called. There was a moment when I called my mother and asked what was happening. I hear that she is nearby. I knew that they would go to filming and ask to give Zhenya. She said, "Don't interfere with me in your affairs, this is your showdown." And hung up. I think everything was already heading towards the end of my career. How many years has she been in the top? Everything was leading up to this. About criticism and critics. I sometimes open comments. There is such a deputy to Yashkov, right? And I read what he says. This Tutberidze comes to the skating rink, the children say hello to her, and she swears at them. How is this in general? I haven't seen you in person, who are you? Am I crazy or what? Rodnina also tells strange stories about me, or Bistemyanova, how I cruelly train. Find the strength and time in yourself, come to the skating rink, sit in on a training session, at least one. What are you telling without seeing or hearing? It's a lie. They say I'm holding back sexual development. Discover the strongest warm-up of the 2018 Olympics. Who's at this warm-up with breasts? Only Zagitova and Medvedeva. Everything was quite difficult for Medvedeva, she is a workaholic, but the way she worked for us, she will not be anywhere. Do they have a short journey in sports? Not short at all. Maybe, having taken the medal, they don't want to work hard. Should I force them? Zagitova, in order to skate like this after the Olympics, came to the skating rink at 8 in the morning, and left at 9:10 in the evening. All this time she was in the hall or on the ice. And she lived in this mode for a year and a half. She is tired. Why should I force her? Should I force her? It is their decision whether to train in this mode and whether to live or not. Eteri Tutberidze called Valieva universal athlete. In my understanding, Valieva is the best single skater in the entire history of figure skating in all components. The question is always asked why human talent needs such tests. We, like you, don't understand how this will all end. I think that this somehow influenced her in her life. Life does not end with professional sports. Actually, it changed her a lot. Before this, Valieva was a sincere child. Even when she was interrogated, I did the same. So, Kamila, quickly tell me what you had on the day of the short program. She said there that some volunteer treated her to ice cream, the Masushik Mariva treated her to tea, and something else. I'm talking seriously. Did this all happen? She says. Well, I don't know, I'm kinda there. She will just become different. I think that she no longer has faith in anyone, that she has changed because of this. And due to the fact that she is the only one, now the slippers of fans of Lipnitskaya, Medvedeva, Zagitova will fly at me. Firstly, these are all fan groups. Well, maybe, on the contrary, you need to love and respect us. We created for you those whom you loved, idolized, and adorned some part of your life. Where does all this hatred come from? It's kinda stupid. As for Valieva, she is a universal athlete. It combines so much. She skates beautifully and eats up the court. Kosternaya skates beautifully. It happens, it is given or it is not necessary. It's genetic. Valieva has glide, she is naturally stretched, she is naturally flexible. At the same time, those who are stretched and flexible usually do not jump well. Butch has a jump. Mastered the triple axel and quadruples. She is beautiful, feels music, can convey emotions. In this she is exceptional. I don't know if there will be another athlete like her, maybe there will be others. But I don't think we have had such an athlete and probably never will. No matter how someone tries to parody, there won't be another Michael Jackson. There is such an athlete Yuzuru Hanyu. I don't think this will happen either. Will, and Kamila Valieva. The fact that such great love jumped into hatred. Unfortunately.